What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own new review of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I remember in my first video that I said I was going to give my opinions on the looks, but right now I just want this to be over. I mean, all the ladies look great except for Gizelle and Robin. Robin looked plain, Gizelle looked like a rhinestone purse, and that's about it. But we are back with the second part, okay? It starts off with Candace reading Gizelle for filth, okay? Because throughout this entire season, Gizelle has decided to use Chris as her storyline based off of what happened in her hotel room at the last season reunion. And she went throughout this whole season saying how he made her feel uncomfortable, but never gave an explanation as to what did he do that made her feel uncomfortable. She went to Robin, she went to Karen, and he needs to apologize to you, but what did he do? You've never given a full explanation and full detail of what exactly did he do. Just saying he made you feel uncomfortable. In what way? How? Ashley was saying, was it his body language? What was it? I mean, you've known Chris for quite a few years now. Why is it this particular moment he made you feel uncomfortable that you were just so shocked that you can't even look at Chris the same way, but yet you spent the entire season adding fuel to your lie by saying you thought that he was trying to see if you was with it, that he was be a sneaky link, because you said many of married men have tried you, and you thought that he was one of those men. So, girl, miss me. You were sending signals to portray this woman's husband all throughout the season, and now you're getting called out for it, and you're looking as if, what's the problem? Why are you questioning me? Question your husband. No, I'm questioning you. The whole time, trying to keep her accountable, she can't keep up. Gizelle cannot be held accountable. Like, she cannot handle being held accountable. She can't handle it. Saying how it's semantics. It's semantics if you're talking about my husband doing something to you when he's never done nothing to you. Be clear and specific. You want so much of an explanation from other people about what did that mean? Why did you say that? But yet when it comes to you, you want us to just take your word and be okay with it? No, because we don't trust your word. Nothing happened in that hotel room. She took probably a small moment of the situation and blew it up. Waited for Ashley to feel a way about Chris, and then that added to her. Again, Gizelle cannot answer the question. You got me over here defending Gizelle by just saying, okay, so she just felt uncomfortable being in a room with a married man. Let her be uncomfortable. Mia, shut up, because you had an affair with a married man. You're not involved in this. Be quiet. Now, Gizelle wants to say that Candace made this bigger. How did she make this bigger? I wanted to know, how did my husband make you feel away, and you've never gave in detail. So I'm pissed off that someone who I thought was my friend will say that my husband did something to you, but you never tell me what it was. You never told me what it was. You went to telling everybody else, and now you've added more shit to it. You've added Ashley's friend into it. You've added Mia into it, or Mia wanted to be involved in it. Like, are you kidding me right now? Candace's reasoning was an exact reason. It was a valid reason. You got on camera in front of millions of people to say that my husband made you feel uncomfortable when you could have found me and called me sooner than later to clear it up, but you didn't. You waited 6 months to tell me. You've been around me, you supported me, and the whole time you kept this in your back pocket while your dwindling uterus was waiting on you for a storyline. You can miss me. Again, Mia's trying to speak it for Gizelle. Candace tells her to shut up, like I'm telling the screen to Mia to shut up. I'm like, just like, Mia, shut up, because Gizelle don't have a leg to stand on. She don't have a reason why Chris made her feel uncomfortable. Saying how she's done with it, she's done with it. No, 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 no. We're not done with it. We're not going to skate by and have you escape accountability. That's not going to work over here. You're going to sit right here and explain how you said this entire time that her husband made you feel uncomfortable. You have spent the entire season creating a narrative about someone else's husband. You sat on this screen more than once to portray my husband to look like a predator. Then we get to Deborah, Ashley's friend, who said that Chris was allegedly flirting with her. And Gizelle added more sauce by saying he touched her, which he never did. Then we saw the footage that they played multiple times that Chris did not do anything. It was Deborah who introduced herself, Deborah who started the conversation. Looking at that footage, Ashley had no choice but to admit, but she had to clear it up by saying, my friend's words did not align to what was said on that screen. And then Deborah, who had never been on a reality show, want to say that it was editing and that the audio didn't match the footage or his lips were not moving. Like, it don't make no sense. How can Deborah, who's never been on a reality show, who knows the ins and outs of a reality show, could say that the audio didn't match the footage? Miss me with that. Miss me that girl, you wanted your 15 minutes of fame and you got it. Ashley, Deborah is not your friend. For her to say that Deborah has been truthful with her, girl, you've only known her for a year. She probably showed you that you can trust her all in while until she got to that moment she was going to be asked to film that part. And then when she found a way, that's when she wanted to show her audition to be on the show, and it didn't work. And I'm happy we did not dwell into this because this was just another fan who wanted to be a part of the show, who wanted to follow the line, the basic plot line of how it means to be on this type of show, because this entire franchise is based off of rumors and husbands. That's the entire basis of Potomac franchise, okay? And then Deborah mentioned Eddie, which was a reach because Eddie was smiling. Girl, that don't mean nothing. So the fact that this particular narrative for this particular cast and this particular franchise is the men can't even be around single women without them feeling like something was up, something was weird. I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like you're trying to do this to me, and that's never the case. They're not used to normal men smiling, giving you respect, being themselves, versus the men who are already in this group, unable to communicate with the other ladies based off of what could have been presented, and they want to apologize for it. They can't even do that because these women have gotten so sensitive for a regular man to be himself, to smile, to laugh, engage in conversation without you guys believing it's something different. Grow up. Grow up. I have never felt the way that my husband would talk to another woman in front of me as if I am not secure in my own relationship. Y'all women are not secure in your relationship, hence why you guys get eerie and uncomfortable and nervous anytime a man will speak to you. If a man says hi and being himself, it doesn't mean nothing. And you want to point out Eddie and Chris as those men, no, that's not going to work for me. Then we get into Candace Live that Robin wants to make a huge display of by putting that JBL speaker on the table when they went to Miami. And based off of what was said on the live, Candace said they don't like them, they're not loyal, they don't have businesses. Now, on the real note, Robin did not watch the full video. She got sent a clip that just read off that part, how these hoes aren't loyal, she don't like them, fuck them, all this and that and the third. And Robin says that everybody should have heard it. Really, Robin? Everybody should have heard it? Well, we all know who she was mainly talking about, Ashley and Gizelle. And Robin, you knew that the main people who she probably was talking about on that live was Ashley and Gizelle, okay? And like Candace said, if you thought that I was talking about you, you could have come up to me and said, girl, you talking about me? You know I got some business. Why are you talking about me? Like, I would have automatically known that my friendship with you is way more important than you questioning me about if I'm talking about your business. If I have supported you before, you supported me. So that don't make no sense. It's a contradictory on Robin's behalf because we go back to when she interviewed with Andy that she doesn't expect for other people to expose themselves. That's not her business, not her place to expect for other people to talk about their lives. But you do though, Robin. You carry that same expectation of other people to talk about what's going on, and you carry that same expectation of thinking these ladies would like to hear what Candace had to say about them, so I'm going to be the one to put it out there because I want some mess to start. I don't want my mess to start. I want other mess to start with other people, and Candace is the main point will get the mess started. Miss me with that, Robin. Miss me, miss me, miss me, okay? Now, we get to the live, okay? You're talking about other people, blah, blah, blah. And throughout your moment you wanted to have, I didn't feel embarrassed. You was embarrassed because it wasn't a shocking moment. It was a desperate moment that Robin wanted to have, okay? And her reasoning did not make sense. Now she wants to say, Candace, why do you get mad when things are said on camera? We are filming. That's not fair. Everything that we do should be on camera. You know how many times I had to pause and rewind, and I'm literally frustrated. I wanted to punch the screen so bad. Because I'm like, repeat yourself again, Robin. Robin, repeat yourself one more time. You're saying that everything that we do should be on camera. We are on a reality show. Our lives are being exposed. So that means everything that happens in our life should be on camera. If that is the case, Robin, then what were we doing not knowing that Juan probably had a year affair with another woman? And by the time that lockdown happened after the pandemic, he paid for a hotel room and gave you a cockamamie story about this wasn't that, this was this. Then what about the scandal that Juan is now a part of for the college? If everything that has been going on in your life should have been on camera, why wasn't this on camera? Why? You had plenty of things going on that we would have loved to talk about. But you decided to hide it. You decided to keep it to yourself and expose everybody else. And now you want to say that Candace shouldn't be upset because you put her life on the show? She did, because that wasn't on the show. I don't think the cameras were on when she did that live. So I'm just like, what are we talking about? And then 2 weeks later, when Robin was on What Happens Live with Andy, she tweeted, Candace tweeted that it's so funny that we're on a reality show. Other people have understood the purpose of being on the show, while other people have skated by, hid under other people's stuff, never talked about their lives, and yet they can still get paid the same way. They still get the same contract. That's not fair. And here goes Robin, contradicting herself, lying, saying that what does why does Candace have to feel a way about what's going on in my life? She has nothing to do with my life. Oh, if she has nothing to do with your life, Robin, then why do you carry so much expectation for other people to talk about their lives? You carry so much about Karen and Sharice. You cared so much about Ashley and the LLC. You cared so much about Candace and this. Like, are you kidding me? Okay. Then Candace, when it came down to Candace calling Robin loyal, and everybody thought, what about Wendy? She's been most loyal to you because Robin is not a friend to you. It's kind of feeling like, why can't I have one girlfriend that I've known the longest and I support and she supports, I look up to? What's that so wrong about me? But at the same point in time, you carrying how you have a history with Robin, you look up to her for whatever reason I can't find, and you calling her loyal, then where was Robin when you went to the studio with Trina? You didn't take Robin. You took Wendy because you felt closer to Wendy. Then after the JBO speaker incident, Wendy looked at you and said, this is your friend? Someone who you said was most loyal to you? That's not a friend. So I have no idea why Candace still holds Robin to the highest regards. Yes, they became friends when she got on the show, but throughout their friendship, has Robin been a friend to her? No. Robin has only been a friend to Gizelle. That's who she's most loyal to. Now, you can have different relationships with different people. You can have different friendships. One friend you can laugh, kiki, gossip, and then another friend you can really get some serious, tough, serious conversations. You can trust one another without another person airing out your business. You can have different types of friendships. That's correct, okay? And to say that it wasn't a competition, no, it's only a competition if you want to hurry up and be the best friend so badly and want to make sure nobody else takes your spot. That's a competition. But Wendy isn't looking to be competition. She's looking for fairness. If this is your friend, she's not acting like a friend. Period. So then we move on to Gizelle, okay? Her lack of storyline, her daughter's getting older, the live show, and ending off with her having a hysterectomy. Will she still stay in that barnyard of a house when the girls leave? Pretty much she's staying there until the girls leave. You know, that's pretty much she's gonna find another place to live if the money's not gonna be there, because I really do think that Gizelle is not gonna have a long time on this show. She's gonna get the boot soon. Then they're now coming up to 80 episodes of the podcast, and Robin said she's never listened to a podcast before. Wendy said that wasn't wise, and then she wanted to say we're so successful, so whatever, don't hate. There's nothing to hate on, Robin. If you're gonna dabble into another field of income, you should do your homework. You should research. I mean, y'all podcast isn't different than any other podcast. You know, you guys gossip, y'all recap shows, ain't nothing different. Okay, it's the same thing, but you guys have a different outlook, and maybe you guys have more of an audience because you guys are on a franchise, you on a show, so you guys get more audience automatically coming in. Y'all starting from scratch though, but you guys have the publicity of the show. Then I went in and out of this Karen live show, the Reasonably Shady podcast. Did Karen copy him off, or did they copy her? What was Karen's inspiration? She said Wendy Williams. They wanted to call her out. Well, you said Carol Burnett. Either way, inspiration comes from different places. I don't care, and I'm not even caring to talk about it. Then we talk about Gizelle's hysterectomy. How have you done? How have you been feeling since you had the surgery? Are you okay emotionally or physically? What's going on? And out of 7 seasons that she's been on this show, she has gotten a whole bunch of positive feedback from women who have dealt with having a hysterectomy, who knows what it feels like, and blah, blah, blah. And Candace said after 7 seasons, you got this one time you received positive feedback because you're now showing something real. You are going through something that everybody can understand and relate to you. Nobody has related to you before, Gizelle. which is sad. You've been on here for 7 seasons and you've never gotten a positive response about your character. Woo. So, talking about how her daughters felt about having a hysterectomy on camera, wasn't sure on how they were going to react. Then we find out that Gizelle had a sister. Did anybody know that Gizelle had a sibling? We didn't know that. So her sister was supposed to keep updates about her surgery. And it was supposed to be only a few hours. It ended up being almost 8 hours. And she starts to get emotional. She catches herself and wanted to exit out of that conversation. Andy said, no, we're going to get into it. Because you expect so much of other people to explain themselves. You are going to explain yourself about what's going on in your life. Okay? So the girls were terrified that the surgery took longer than it should have. She had a bladder compromise and she couldn't go home that same night. She had to stay in the hospital, which was terrifying to her. And that's something hard because surgeries are something to never play with. They can either come out good or come out bad. And for this surgery, you never know. So this was something we could have talked about throughout the season. Only hearing her having a conversation with Robin after the biopsy, which we could have saw. I mean, we went through Wendy. I'm gonna get to Wendy. Let me keep going. So I like that Andy is asking Gizelle these questions. You've been on this show for seasons, and people want to hear about your life. They want to relate to you, and you show that you are not relatable. You are not personable. You have no heart. And the fact that you don't show any of that for us to see you differently, you carry the same expectation of other people to share what's going on in their lives, what you've seen on the blogs, what's been said on social media, and blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, I have filmed parts of my life. That's on production. If they don't show, that's not my problem. No, 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 no. It's not only production, it's what you're showing them. If production sees you have a boring segment, they're not going to use it. I think that your daughters are the only exception because your daughters want to film with you. Okay? They only want to film with you. Then she said, I'm not about to expose what I have going on in my life with people I don't like. Just like Wendy. I don't like Wendy. I'm not going to talk about what I'm going through with her. So Wendy said the feeling is mutual. I don't care for you either. I don't care for you either. That's BS. That's pure BS. But you didn't like Wendy, but you expected for Wendy to be accountable for what she said about you after you came out with a rumor about her husband, Miss Me. At the time, she don't like you either. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's Wendy. You have other people on this cast you have some kind of friendship with. Are you tired of talking to Robin? Or because you have a code with Robin that you guys are never going to talk about what you got going on versus then what you guys have said behind closed doors. We're going to only talk about this. Don't bring up this. Is that what I'm understanding? Then you involve yourself in other people's mess. You wanted Mia to be held accountable to explain her relationship with Jacqueline. You wanted Wendy to talk about what's going on with Peter. You wanted Karen to talk about what's going on with Sharice. You can miss me. I don't know what Gizelle and Robin are smoking. They really do believe that they don't expect for other people to talk about their lives because they don't have to. Miss me. Gizelle lying to our faces by saying, if I ask a question and they choose not to answer it, they don't have to answer it. Oh, please. Like Karen, Candace, and Mia have said, you bully people into explaining what's going on. You bully people to talk about what they got going on. You bully them. Like the way you started off this season when you saw Mia's post about she might have been having cancer, you approached her with this what no cancer looks like. Are you kidding me, Gizelle? You were expecting an answer and an explanation from Mia's post about what was going on with her life, and you wasn't letting up. You kept on talking about it, and you kept on bringing up Ashley and the LLC, like you did with Karen and her tax issues that was going on throughout the blogs. You expected for them to talk about what you seen on social media, and you wiggled your way into having them expose it by asking questions. Wendy already clocked it last season. I now figured out how you move. In order for us to not talk about what you got going on, you ask us questions. And we get so enthralled and consumed by other people's stuff, we forget, what about you? What you got going on? And that's how it works. That's how it's always worked all this time. And it's crazy. I have liked Gizelle from season 1. Now that the past few seasons, I don't like Gizelle. I don't. I don't care that Steve is somebody she used to date, might date. I don't care. I don't care if she's dating someone from Summer House. I don't care. She introduced him to the girls. I don't care. It's not going to last long. It's a 15-year age difference. I don't care. Saw him last night. They prep for the reunion. Will he be returning for the show if you guys still together? Pretty much Andy telling Gizelle, you have sat next to me for seasons and you have nothing to show for it. This will be your last time sitting next to me if you don't have a storyline. Because why is Gizelle sitting next to Andy? She brings nothing to the show. Absolutely nothing. I'm not playing with you. Bring something or you're off the show. Period. We get to Wendy, okay? Her storyline about wanting to open a Nigerian lounge with Peter and how she had to go through surgery to remove her kidney stones. And Wendy was going through hair loss. And I don't know why we did not tap into that even more, because dealing with hair loss and stress is a huge factor. I dealt with it as well. And then having a drink thrown at her by Mia and Robin, filming the whole thing, telling her she was being antagonistic. Now, her health, she's dealing with it, drinking more water, doing this and that. Then after the kidney stones, she changed her diet. Now with the restaurant business, she's not doing it no more. It's not happening. Now with Ashley and Candace, who have some kind of history of running restaurants, they gave her advice about what to do, what not to do, pretty much talk her out of it. We get into Wendy, okay, her storyline of wanting to open a Nigerian lounge with Peter, and she was dealing with hair loss, having to have surgery to remove kidney stones, and getting a drink thrown at her by Mia, while Robin is recording and telling her that she's being antagonistic. With dealing with her health and her hair loss, what has she changed about herself? She has changed her diet. She's been drinking a lot of water. I wanted them to discuss more about it because we did see Wendy talk about what she had going on. We did. We was invited into what she was dealing with. That was different than Gizelle just saying out of nowhere, I'm getting a hysterectomy, without building up to us watching scenes that led to that moment. Wendy showed us she was dealing with pain, dealing with kidney stones, dealing with hair loss, dealing with being stressed and overworked. We saw that. And with her having so many businesses and wearing so many hats, the thought about her getting into the restaurant business is a tough business to succeed in. And you don't have any knowledge of running a restaurant. But Ashley did, Candace knows, and they gave her great advice. Also, both talking her out of going to the restaurant business. So now the restaurant business is on pause. Now, Mia. How did Mia become good friends with Peter? She brings up how they had a little bit of a fling with Peter's girlfriend at the time and blah, blah, blah. Now, why was Mia so upset that she threw a drink at Wendy and eventually hit her with her purse? Because she didn't say anything bad about G until after the drink was thrown. Mia was lying. She said that she relayed the message wrong and that Wendy went a different route of not understanding what Mia was talking about. And I'm like, that's not the way it happened. Mia, start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning when Peter told you that he has a beef with Wendy. You decided to tell it to everybody else but Wendy. Then we get to dinner. He's telling you the same thing again. You decided to insert yourself in her business with Peter by questioning her as if, why didn't she reach out to Peter that she was in town? Not your business, not your place. So you can miss me with that. And Mia don't want accountability. That you decided to insert yourself in something that had nothing to do with you. You made it bigger than what it was. Like Andy said, the way you were talking, it seemed as if you wanted to make it bigger than her not saying that Peter was in town, or she didn't tell Peter that she was in town. And you took it to another level that you threw the drink. Wendy responded by reading your ass. You couldn't handle it. You was fighting a security guard, hitting her with your purse, and now everything has been on camera. We see how you acted. We see how you were the antagonist. We see how you were the aggressor. We see how you started the conversation and argument. And a year later, you're still not holding yourself accountable for what you did to Wendy. She said, what you did to me was fucked up. You assaulted me. Don't get it twisted. While I'm sitting here strong, I have a lot to lose, but I would have, I still wanted to beat your ass at that point. I really did. Now, Mia, getting her ass handed to her, she throws out there, oh, really? You don't want to talk about you giving Peter the cookie? It's like, what? Yeah, that's why she don't want to talk about it. She didn't want to talk about how she gave Peter the cookie. They had dinner. I saw the cameras, and they had a whole entree. I'm like, girl, she's not you. Do you want to fuck Peter? That's what you want to do. Because why would you throw that out there? That a married woman with kids and a husband that she slept with Peter. How dare you? What type of woman are you to throw that out there like that with no evidence to back it up, just saying shit just to say shit? And Candace said it right. We got to stop with these lies. We can't just throw shit out there without having facts and truth just so y'all can have nothing else to talk about. Like, that's stupid. Mia, you're a liar. Okay? You're a liar. Why is it the first thing you want to do is to call out that somebody might have been having sex with somebody? Why is it the first thing you keep on mentioning? Why? That makes no sense to do. Okay, then we got Robin, who has shown antagonistic, aggressive behavior, got the nerve to call Wendy being antagonistic after she got a drink thrown at her. How was she the antagonist? Robin lying. She has to open up with how to lie so she can clear up what she meant by saying, I don't know how I would have reacted if I had a drink thrown on me. Based off of how you acted in the past, Robin, we can tell how you would have reacted if you had a drink thrown at you. We go back to the restaurant. You approach Ashley being aggressive. You put your finger all in Ashley's face. When Monique said, don't walk up on me and shut up, you decide to get in her face and be an antagonist as well, instigating more of a fight, and you got an umbrella under your neck. So, miss me, Robin. We know how you would have reacted if you had a drink thrown at you. The more Robin talks, the more she sounds stupid. She said everybody has the ability to retaliate the way that they want to. If they have that ability, then why do you have a problem with how they react? Why do you have a problem? Why do you say I wouldn't have done that? That's not something I would have done. Miss me, Robin. It would have been okay. You said that Candace was over dramatizing on what Gizelle said about her husband, and she wasn't. So you can miss me with that. You said everybody has a right to retaliate. The way that Wendy retaliated after Mia throwing a drink at her was very valid. Girl violated my space, hit me with a purse, and I'm supposed to be calm? No. I'm supposed to be the bad party? No. So again, with the lies and bullshit that she did not want Wendy to fight on camera, miss me, Karen, she wanted to bring Karen into the mix because she said Karen should have been the one to stop it because she was there and I don't like Wendy. So I figured I would have been the one to diffuse it. Karen said, no, 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 no. Don't put me in that. No, no, no. You put me in it, so now I'm in it. Girl, you were right there on your phone recording the whole thing. You could have stayed. You could have got up and did something. But no, what you did do was add gasoline to it. Okay? Yes, she said gaslighting. But she meant was Robin kept on throwing more fuel to the fire. That's exactly what she did. If you're not going to fight, then sit down. If you're going to fight, then shut up. Da, 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 all this and that and the third, right? Robin, you stayed your happy ass down recording the whole thing with Gizelle, okay? You were so concerned about Winnie's reputation. No, the fuck you weren't, okay? What you should have did was, if you were so concerned about her reputation, was to take Winnie to the side and say, no, 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 girl, I get it. I would have beat her ass too, but girl, you got a lot to lose. Come over here, let's walk. Let's calm down and walk. Let's walk it off. That's what you should have did, Rob, but you didn't. You sat right there and recorded her and say, you're antagonizing. Stop antagonizing. Girl, bye. Now, there was unseen footage that showed Robin saying, I know you want to fight on camera, but girl, if you keep on going like this, she'll pop you in the mouth. Wait till you're off camera, then you can fight her. It was giving energy that you still want Wendy to fight her. And you want to have the ability to say, well, the cameras didn't catch it, but Wendy fought her off camera. And I know that because she told me. That's what you wanted to do. Set up, if you were ever asked, did Wendy ever wanted to get back at Mia? Yeah. Because I said, if you're going to fight her, fight off camera. And she did. Like, you can miss me with that, Robin. You were still egging on Wendy's emotions and instigating that Wendy should fight Mia. But yet you still don't want to hold Mia accountable for what led to Wendy wanting to beat her ass. That's the problem I got, okay? And Wendy, I was the one that was assaulted. I was the one that had her space violated. And if somebody wanted to get up and hit dumbass Mia over there, then I saw the whole thing break down. I would not have been on her side. I would be on the other person's side because that person started it. And you, Robin, you only went to me that I was the one that was attacked. You did not hold Mia's feet to the fire. You did not tell her that she was wrong. You're telling me what I should have done. You're telling me what I should not have said. You're telling me what I should not be doing, as if I was the one who did everything wrong and I didn't. Now, Gizelle getting sensitive that she called me a dumbass because she is a dumbass. Move on. The person who got hit for no reason was the one who kept on getting told, stop doing it, stop doing it. For real? Robin said, I understood Mia's frustration. What frustration? There was no frustration that Mia had. None. What y'all trying to do is still hold Wendy's feet to the fire when she didn't do nothing but retaliate after having a drink thrown at her. Are you kidding me? Mia was the one who started the whole thing. Robin, go to hell. Okay, for you to say I can't even defend that because I don't like Wendy and blah blah blah, and we weren't friends at that time. Bullshit. You guys are never. You guys are operating in the mindset of colorism right now. Right now, how even if you're not in a good place with Wendy, right is right and wrong is wrong. You know that Mia was wrong, but you want to hold the fact that you didn't like Wendy. You're still kind of say, well, she wasn't right for doing that, but I don't like Wendy, so I don't care. That's effed up for real, okay? You're not giving validation to Wendy's feelings. You guys refuse to be held accountable. You guys refuse to hold other people accountable. And what y'all presenting right now is colorism. Mia was the aggressor. Mia was the one who threw the purse. Mia was the one who started everything. But since Wendy was the one who was the part that was attacked, you want to not give off any moral compass, any like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Wendy. That should have never happened. I know me and I on the same page, girl, but you should have never gotten a drink thrown at you. She should have never hit you with her purse. What is it so hard to say that? Why is that so difficult? Please explain that to me. It's BS. Right here is BS. Right here is colorism. Period. Again, want to place the blame on Karen. Now Karen trying to diffuse situation, deflecting. Robin, you're deflecting because you know for a fact that you could have done something, but you did. Now you want to erase the fact that you stood there instigating a fight and say that Karen should have said something. Miss me with that, okay? Anyway, now, Robin, we get to Robin about how she walked up on Wendy after Wendy telling her to stand up in it, and Robin lying, saying that she didn't need to be held back or that Sharice did not hold her back. We've seen the footage. Sharice had to get up more than once to put your ass back, sit your ass back down, and never want to say you were aggressive. All she kept telling was that to stand up. All I was doing what she said. She told me to stand up, stand up. No, stand up in it, Robin. Stand up in it, meaning you wanted to be on the same side with Gizelle by questioning Mia about her cancer post. You were thinking like Gizelle about the cancer post, and what did that mean? All Wendy was telling you to do was stand up in it. Say your truth. You wanted to interrogate Mia. You wanted to call her out about her post. Stand up in. Don't just try to escape accountability or escape your part because Gizelle said like you didn't have the same mindset as she does. That's the part. You want to play off semantics for no reason. How she told me to stand up. I was saying don't tell me to stand up because I'm gonna stand up. Girl, bye. Bye, bye, bye. The whole entire time she's lying, saying this is lies. Robin is lying, okay? And how when Monique told you don't walk up on me, and you telling her you shut up. Oh, I'm walking up on you, and then you had the umbrella up to your neck. Robin, you're using the fact that you interrogated and antagonized that situation with Monique having an umbrella up to your neck. You came with that same energy when you put your finger in Ashley's face. And now, this time, Robin, you cannot escape your accountability of how you have professed antagonistic behavior, showcase aggressive behavior, but you have never gotten called out until now. Never got called out until now. Now we get to the fight itself. That it was directed towards Ashley. They saying that Ashley flip flopped when it came down to her stance between violence. When it came down to Monique and Wendy, you know, Candace is gonna have her comments in the background because she is still in that space of getting her ass beat by Monique, and that she didn't like that she got her ass beat by Monique. Okay, so I don't think that Ashley flip flopped at all. I think that Ashley still stood in what she believed in. When it came down to the fight between Candace and Monique, everybody went to Candace's defense, as they should have. But nobody was there to listen to Monique. Nobody was there to understand how Monique got to that point. They ostracized her. They iced her out. Remember, they had that conversation in Karen's house. Gizelle brought security guard. Wendy, you were on the same wavelength with Gizelle about how the misrepresentation of black women look up to us. You're not showcasing what black women looks like. I don't care to be around you. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, okay? Now, when it came down to Wendy, nobody came to Wendy's defense. Nobody said anything. Nobody checked in on her. Nobody wanted to know if she was okay. You guys never held Mia's feet to the fire. Never did, okay? Now, of course, you hear Candace in the background saying how she agreed with Monique not being a good representation of black women. She was this, she was that. I wanted Candace to stop talking. I wanted Candace to stay out of it. Stay out of it, Candace. Don't go off the deep end because I'm on your side, Candace. I've been on your side this whole season. Don't do it. Don't go back to that place where you're still acting like you did not hold a part into that fight with Monique. The fight that happened between Candace and Monique was a equal footing. Did Monique take it too far by actually putting her hands on Candace? Yes, but Candace holds place in that to be accountable because you can't tell somebody you're gonna drag me, drag me, drag me, and if they do, you can't get mad. That part for me, okay? So that's where I'm like, Ashley's stance wasn't that different. She didn't flip flop on nothing. She didn't flip flop on nothing. She was the same way. But then Gizelle, who is never going to admit that this situation is the same. You're saying that Candace got beat up, but Wendy got a drink thrown at her. Not the same. It is the same. She got drink thrown in her face, and she got hit by a purse. She got hit by a purse. She was inflicted pain. That's still the same thing. Okay? But it still doesn't change the fact that Mia started the whole thing. What started with Candace and Monique, yes, but at the same point in time, Gizelle, you nudged Monique, which led to which led to Monique thinking that somebody touched her, and she instantly went to start defending herself and fighting. So you can miss me with that, okay? It is like talking to a child that Gizelle will never hold herself accountable to the part that she plays in with not defending this. And it's so funny though, when she said that Monique was not a good representation of black women, it reminded me of the fact that Gizelle bragged that her father was part of the civil rights movement. He marched along Martin Luther King Jr. The fact that you're in this seat right now and you're not holding any compassion towards a black woman getting violated, having a drink thrown at her, having her hit by a purse, it shows how callous and ignorant you are inside. Because Andy, it is like talking to a child for them to understand what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And that's how Gizelle is acting, okay? She wanted to just clarify with, okay, Candace got beat up. Let's talk about that. Wendy didn't get beat up. Wendy got a drink thrown at her. So? No, not so. She was still inflicted physical harm. Okay, alcohol probably got in her eye. That stings. And she got hit by a purse more than once. So the fact that you would say that's not comparable when it instantly it is comparable, Mia was the aggressor. She started it. Now, like I said before, with Candace and Monique, those were two women engaging in the same energy. So Andy had to literally spoon feed Gizelle for her to get it. You want us to understand that Chris made you feel a way about being alone with him in the hotel room, even though nothing happened. Why can't you give the same understanding that Wendy felt the way about having a drink thrown at her and getting hit by a purse? Again, using the reason I don't like her. So I don't care. That's not a good enough reason, Robin and Gizelle. You can't say I don't like somebody to say you don't care about what happened to them. To me, this is showcasing jealousy and colorism right here. That's not a good enough reason to not still hold me accountable that she was out of line for throwing a drink at her. She was out of line for hitting her with her purse. Why is that so difficult to do? Why is that so difficult to do? Why? And I'm still trying to understand, what did Wendy do to you other than call you out on your BS? What did she do to you, Robin, other than call you out on your BS? I am confused. You are heartless. She's like a crone. She's an old crone. Okay, she has no heart. Okay, like this is jealousy and colorism right here. You guys are still not trying to hold me accountable for what she did to Wendy, all because you don't like Wendy. Next time, Gizelle, the next time you're in a situation, nobody's gonna give a damn about it. They don't care because they don't like you. But you're gonna say, I don't care if you don't like me, girl. Yes, you do. You can miss me. Wendy mustered up some tears because she said it was effed up. I wanted to beat the S out of you, Mia. But knowing who I am now, knowing how strong I am as a woman, I have a lot to lose. I don't want to. That's why Wendy decided to have that conversation with Mia so they can move forward in the group. Because the way the group handled the situation was effed up. Because nobody wanted to talk about it for some reason. Nobody. Unless Gizelle and Robin wanted to tell Mia don't have a conversation, it's going to lead to us thinking that we're colorist and we're not, so don't say nothing, because that was bull s. That whole trip to Miami where nobody checked in on Mia, on Wendy, besides Karen, Ashley, and Candace. And y'all iced her out for no reason without giving any understanding, the way y'all did it with Monique. Iced her out for no reason. I wanted to hit Gizelle over the head with an iron skillet. Because she keeps on making faces when someone is giving their feelings, when someone else is talking about how it made them feel, and she doesn't care. And that's terrible. That's terrifying. You are a woman, a black woman, who bragged that her father was a part of the civil rights movement, marched with Martin Luther King Jr., who fought for our freedom, fought for equality. And you're not showcasing that same equality towards another black woman? Are you kidding me? You're not holding that same rights of right is right and wrong is wrong towards your own towards your own people? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, she has no heart. No heart at all. And then while having Wendy have the floor, that she was upset about it. She was crying. When Gizelle wanted to ruin it by saying, weren't y'all just kissing and showcasing y'all vaginas on camera or something? Weren't y'all doing that? A heartless woman like you, who can never give somebody the space and the space in the room to think that they have the ability to talk about what they're feeling, give expressions, give emotions, without you trying to sour it up with, well, you did do this though, so what you crying for this? Like, it's annoying. But you want us to give you the oh woo 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 for it? No, no. Like, you can never let somebody have their moment, can you? Without you trying to sour it up. I can't with Gizelle. I can't. So Jackie finally arrives at the reunion. She's gonna clear up some misconceptions about her based off what Mia has said over the internet. So we get to a small conversation about colorism. Colorism has played a part throughout the variation of this show since, the past 7 years now. It hasn't been so clear until now, the past couple of seasons, but it has always been there. We're just paying more attention to it. Andy felt like him being a white man who doesn't know anything about colorism, doesn't know how it can affect the black community, he is not going to lead the conversation, which was very smart of Andy to do. But he said he's going to sit back, learn, and listen. Now, they were about to call a moderator who can open up the conversation about colorism, but the producers wanted to give the castmates the floor to talk about it. I wonder if they were to move forward with an actual moderator, maybe they could have had a different segment of a special solely based on the colorism conversations. So they asked each of the ladies if they will be willing and open to talk about colorism. It's so funny how they agreed to have it, but the two people who did not say nothing was Gizelle and Robin. Very funny. You guys all agreed, but never had anything to say. So Candace had the conversation about she doesn't believe that her castmates are colorist, but throughout the season, though, Candace, you have made tweets about colorism on the show for certain situations. So I think you do believe that, but are you trying to save Robin in that aspect? You don't believe Robin is a colorist. You don't believe Karen is a colorist, but you probably do believe that Gizelle and Ash are colorists, though. But I've already said, I think that Gizelle and Robin are the main colorist. So she brings out the definition of colorism, which is favoritism towards light-complected people versus the mistreatment of dark-complected people. And everybody agrees that is the base definition of colorism. You guys will give so much grace and support over light-skinned people who act just as nasty, be aggressive, be mean, say the most outlandish shit, versus than a dark-skinned person who does the same things but they get the worst treatment. So Candace throws it out there that I'm the emotional one. I yell, I scream. I've gotten into fights before, and I've gotten the worst feedback. And we got Robin, who is a lighter skin tone woman, exhibited the same behaviors with Monique, with Wendy, with Ashley, but she doesn't get the same harsh criticism and comments and feedback. Now Robin want to say, I've been called a mean girl too. I've been called aggressive, but you've never been held accountable until now, which is correct. You have never been held accountable in any of your past situations that were clear as day aggressive behavior, and we're now calling it out now. We've only been paying close attention to Candace's behavior, and that was not a good thing to do. I am at fault for that as well. I'm at fault for that, for doing that. And Candace was told, she was emotional, right? Over dramatizing, right, Robin? You said she was over dramatizing with Chris. No, she wasn't. So, pretty much the behavior that has been displayed on the show and the audience, that's what they've seen. Gizelle, who is so ignorant, wants to act like she's never heard the word, doesn't know what happens when the word is being brought up, what pertains to the word, to say, okay, I'm confused. How is you being emotional have to do with the basis of your skin? Candace, am I not speaking clearly? Am I speaking gibberish? Who's not listening to me? I have been vilified. I have been ridiculed based off of my part, how I behaved. And it's based off the colors of my skin, because that's how it's coming across. So the fact that Gizelle, who, again, like I said, bragged about having a father who was a part of the civil rights movement, marched with Martin Luther King Jr., who fought for freedom, fought for rights for black people, is acting like she's never heard of racism, colorism, the difference of light skin, dark skin, how light skin are always favored towards the dark skinned people. Did you not pay attention to history class? African history, slavery. Are you kidding me, Gizelle? We go back to Karen, who pretty much defined everything that Gizelle that Candace said. But since Karen is light skinned, her words were clear as day to Gizelle. But how is it that you did not understand what Candace said? Candace said it right out the gate. I can act crazy. I can act aggressive. I can act like this, but I'm the one that get read the most. I get harsh criticism versus Robin, who had acted the same way, versus Mia, who done the exact same thing. Nobody calls her out like they call me out. Are you kidding me? Then we talk about literally slavery, how there were light-skinned slaves and dark-skinned slaves. The light-skinned slaves were pretty much passable. They were considered the house slaves. They were close to white. Versus then the dark-skinned people who were out in the plantation. With the dark-skinned people out in the cotton fields, they've gotten raped, beat, and killed over the mistreatment. So it's really funny to me that Gizelle is acting so oblivious and ignorant towards her own history after she bragged so many times that her father was a part of the civil rights movement and this and that and the third. She's a proud AKA. She went to Hampton University. Like, are you kidding me, Gizelle? Ashley admits that maybe it could have been her personality that people are not connecting with, but it wasn't wrong for Ashley to say that, because it wasn't like Ashley did not understand how colorism do exist, though. But based off of how people have opinions about their favorites on the show and not so favorites on the show, it has nothing to do with their skin tone. People don't like Ashley because they don't like how Ashley is. They don't like her behavior. They don't like how she moves. That has nothing to do with her skin. Just like how people don't like Candace sometimes because of her behavior, because how she moves, how she talks. Nobody, Monique, they didn't like Monique about how she did, but it's not because of the color of her skin. So Karen said, you know how you can understand that? By listening to her. She's telling you her feelings. She's saying how she's feeling. Ashley said, you know what? I agree. I agree, because she calls out that her, Gizelle, Robin, and Mia are pretty much getting passed on with their light skin privilege. But Ashley, you're biracial as well. But concerning the fact you are admitting that you do get better treatment because you are light skin, you are giving favoritism as the light skin is the right skin. I love the fact that Ashley admitted that I do get special treatment because I am a light skinned woman. I do. I get that completely. But looking at her perspective, how she has had an issue with everybody in this group, it has never been the basis of her skin. She has never had an issue with the other person off the color of their skin. It's off of their disagreements, misunderstandings. We just cannot get along. Nothing to do with the color of their skin. And I love the fact that Ashley admitted that. Out of everybody on that stage of the light skin crew, Ashley and Karen, Mia wanted to piggyback off of Ashley because she didn't want to be the only one not saying nothing, agreed to that. And Candace appreciated that Ashley admitted, she acknowledged the fact that she gets favoritism. She acknowledges that her light skin privilege pretty much skates off of her ever getting the worst criticism in the world. But I feel like Ashley does get the worst criticism. She has the most outlandish things, but she does not get read for filth like Candace does in that aspect. And we have to break that stigma. You cannot say you don't know the word, but you're not acknowledging that you play a part of it. Now, at the same time, Mia is agreeing with Ashley because she is raising a brown-skinned girl. She don't want to be accused of acting like that, and we have to do better. But the whole entire time, I'm looking at Gizelle and Robin not saying a word. Gizelle is extremely uncomfortable about this conversation. Just like how she skated off that question when she was on the Sherry Shepherd show. Robin, where your mouth at? Where your voice at, Robin? You're not saying nothing. So Wendy said, I know that we are filming a show, that we have to be entertaining, but we should also be aware of dog whistles. And we gotta talk about what's happening. We cannot skate off of what not's happening. We cannot act like what we're seeing is not what we're seeing. So yes, the fact they only spent maybe a couple of minutes, that was probably like a 30-minute segment of a conversation being filmed. But I think that y'all should have added more context to that. Talk about situations that led to colorism. I mean, just like this reunion alone. Robin and Gizelle don't want to hold me accountable for what she did to Wendy. That's colorism right there. Robin and Gizelle don't want to admit that Wendy was the victim. Wendy was hurt. Wendy should have been like, oh my God, are you okay? Because they didn't like her. That's colorism right there. Robin and Giselle had no real reason to not understand and not give sympathy to Wendy in that aspect. Two moments of colorism were shot on this stage right now. Now we get to Jackie. Jackie is now back on the stage, okay? She has not seen Mia since the season ended, which is a very long time. We go through their whole friendship, where 30 years of friendship went down the drain. Now, Mia, what have you thought about after seeing the package? That they could have done better. Jacqueline felt like she didn't do nothing wrong, but she felt like the entire time when I was on the show, I feel like Mia wanted to treat me like shit. She wanted me to be her peasant, be beneath her. Now, Mia want to say that because she was dealing with so much, that even though Jacqueline supported her and was there for her, she wasn't thinking of how much Jacqueline needed her support or how much support that Jacqueline expected from her. But to me, I'm feeling like it's Mia who did not like the fact that Jacqueline was getting along with the other ladies. They liked the Jacqueline better than how Mia was when she got on the show. So now she wanted to put out any bad thing about Jacqueline to remove any positive things about her. That's why she kept on calling out what she did, talked to her about she was a bad friend or how she was a clingy friend. Like, she just used any opportunity to embarrass Jacqueline when she didn't like that Jacqueline was getting much better acquainted with the other ladies. So the one thing that Jacqueline clears up with Mia was her sister was her nanny first. Okay, Jacqueline's sister was her nanny, but since Mia did not have anybody that supported her, or she didn't have any support from her family, she wanted to support her friend. So I pretty much helped you out by having my sister be your nanny. Okay, now Mia was taken in by Jacqueline's family. Did you ever feel like you were less than? Did they make you feel like you weren't important, you weren't involved, you weren't a part of the family? She said, no. They treated me like I was their own. They treated me like I was their kid. So what made you switch up on Jacqueline? Why did you treat her as if you were obligated to string her along after you got good, after she was the one who helped you get to where you at? What's up with that? And no, the fact that her mother and father treated her the same exact way they would treat their own kids, it's mind-boggling. And she's not as close to them as she wanted to be. Now, Jacqueline says she doesn't allow her mother to watch the show, but the rest of her family are devastated. They're disgusted by Mia's behavior. And that there should not have been things said on camera. And Mia said that she says things and then the next day doesn't remember the things that she said when she wakes up. She's like moving on from it. It is completely gone from her mind, gone from her memory. Jacqueline said, you are unhinged, okay? Because that's not good. You have so much to say about somebody. You are talking so much shit about other people. Then when you go to sleep, you act like nothing's wrong. You don't know what you said that can hurt the other person. Like, you sent a group message to the other ladies talking about Jacqueline needs to apply on food stamps, her house is in foreclosure, and blah, blah, blah. Why would you send a message to the other girls talking about your friend like that? And you don't remember that you said that? So Jacqueline said, first of all, let's talk about how your business is in shambles, okay? Don't talk about me getting on food stamps, girl, because you're about one rental away from applying at the government line. Good night. So when Jacqueline brings out her binder of receipts about Mia, Mia has her glitter box of receipts. It's attack of the receipts, okay? They go back and forth and say, open a Pandora's box. We're going to see what's going on. You want to see what I have? Do you want to see what I have? I have receipts. I have receipts. Next week is a conclusion of the reunion. We're going to find out who got real receipts, who got fake receipts. Mia, you're a liar, but I want to know what you got. Then we get Sharice, and then we get the interview of Robin and Andy on Watch What Happens Live. We already heard most of it, that Robin lied the whole thing. Robin looked as stupid. So what's the point of us having a 90-minute reunion? Oh my God, are you kidding me? But y'all, After this season, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna have to scrap out everybody or take away other people's checks. Take out Robin's checks for one. Take out Gizelle's checks, demote them, take out Mia, and bring in a whole new member and change the dynamics of this cast or change the dynamics of this franchise, please. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next view, and I'm gonna see you guys later.